Hi. Well, here we are. We are going to be cutting some glass. What I have done is to separate these three pieces of glass to make it a little easier to maneuver. I'm going to show you what they looked like before I cut them. They looked like that. What I did was to separate these pieces to make it easier to get into these individual pieces of glass. I'm very worried about this piece. It's got an inside curve, and this one, and this one, and this one. So we have three pieces to worry about. This one's going to be fairly easy, so we're going to start with it. I use oil. I always have my cutter sitting in oil so that as I work, I make sure that I don't have a score line that I can see. The score line is what happens when I take the cutter from an edge and go to an edge. That was a score line. I'm at this point going to take my breaking pliers and lay them 1/4 of an inch away from the score, and I'm going to pull down. I am pulling down. I am trying to relieve the pressure. We've got a little tiny piece here. I'm going to save that one for later. What we're going to do is use this piece. So here again, I'm going to start, and I'm going to take the cutter head and look at the little black line. I have the screw head up on this wonderful cutter. This is a straight-handled cutter, and it's an oil-filled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get right next to this pattern paper. I look at that little black line and I start from an edge. Now, as I'm cutting, I'm making sure that I don't go up onto this pattern paper. I always wanted to hear the score. So if I tip the cutter a little bit as I go, I make sure that I'm staying off of that paper. Now, if all goes well, it's going to break very easily. I'm going to take my breaking pliers, hold them next to the score line, and pull. Glass likes to run straight. This got too thin, so it broke straight. I'm going to take my breaking pliers, put them near the other piece, and I'm going to break. Glass again goes straight. My score line went over this way. So if you want to make sure, glass is always going to try to go straight. You really need to be aware of that fact. This is Bullseye. It's all fusible glass. I'm going to save all of my beautiful orange. Okay, on this piece, what I want to do is I want to show you, I'm going to cut all the way over to here. I want to make sure I have oil. I'm going to get right next to the pattern paper. If you can see my body, I am staying directly over that cutter. I'm going to hold my breaking pliers and pull down. That is a beautiful cut. I was talking to you during the other one, and I didn't get quite as good a cut as I did on this one. What a beautiful score. Okay, here we go. I'm going to trim off this. You want to make sure that you break all of your pieces. Glass is liquid. It will heal itself. And you will notice that you've picked up a piece that has a score line in it, and it will break when you solder it. So this is a perfect piece. There's a little bit of glass here, and I will take this over to the grinder in a little bit, and I will make this completely smooth and a complete piece. What a beautiful orange.